is happening, people? Welcome back to the Scarfey Talks Premier League podcast. In this episode, then, we'll be previewing Game Week 27. Some big games this weekend, up and down the table. I've got a fantastic panel joining me to preview it. Firstly, welcome once again to Cam, Spurs fan. Cam, how you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well, thank you. Obviously, a lot of big games on the weekend, so I'm excited to be on tonight. And yeah, thank you for having me, Harry.
Anytime, thank you very much. Sophie, Arsenal fan, we won't talk about your last result, but I suppose it makes you hungrier to put it right again. But thank you very much for your time. Of course, you do support Arsenal. How you doing, Sophie?
I'm really good, thank you. And thank you again for having me on. I'm really excited to chat with all you guys today.
Thank you very much for coming on once again. Jag, it's fantastic to have you on the first time on the podcast. We've spoken, done a separate recording, had a Villa and Tottenham. How are you doing? You're an Aston Villa fan.
I am indeed. No, thank you very much, Harry, for having us on today. First time on this podcast, so I'm looking forward to sharing the experience.
Should be good. Thank you very much. Yeah, Tottenham fan, Arsenal fan, and a Villa fan. All got big games, I'd argue, this weekend. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in. Let's get straight into it. And Jag, you are first up because it's Aston Villa and Leeds 3 p.m. kickoff. Got no lunchtime kickoff, so we move on to these 3 p.m s. How do you see this game going here? Are you confident going into it?
Yeah, I mean, a little fact you may know, you may not know, but actually, it's exactly a year ago we played at a 3 o'clock on a Saturday. The last time, exactly a year ago, it was against Ipswich, and we drew 1 each, and they were down to 10 men after about 15 minutes or so. And we look back and we just think we missed out on goal difference on Champions League last year. Was that one of the games that that sort of escaped us? But no, obviously, I think we've had a cracking first half of the season. We've been obviously dogged with injuries, so there is a time when all clubs and teams will have a little bit of a flat time. We've scraped some draws, and obviously the last game, Brighton, we won 1-0, which was very, very important, and that was late on. So tomorrow, I'm optimistic. I mean, Leeds have really come on. They had a bit of a poor start, but they've really come on in the last 10 games, and they seem to be a real a powerhouse in terms of not lost that many games and have held some of the top teams to draws and actually won a few. But I think if we go with a strong lineup that we can and a bench that can make the difference when they come on, then I'm fancying us to win 3-1 tomorrow. I really am. I know Unai will be drilling it into the players that these are the important games that will make the difference if we get Champions League at the end of the season. And if we get a good start, get an early goal, Leeds always play a bit of cavalier football. They'll come out and we can maybe pick them off for a second. But they, they're going to be a force, and their intensity and strength is very, very strong in terms of, they won't roll over easy, and went to Stamford Bridge and do 2-2. They've drawn a few other away games as well. I think Anfield and Old Trafford. So they're not bad. They're a decent outfit, and so it won't be easy.
Won't be easy at all. Thank you very much. 3-1. You said that as well to Villa. Thank you very much for kicking us off, Jag. Sophie, if I come to you, how do you see this game going? I think summed up perfectly by Jag that both teams starting slow, particularly Leeds, but now really getting going. So everything points towards a good one here at Villa Park. How do you see it going?
Yeah, I think Villa will win this 2-1. I think, as we said, Leeds have definitely done pretty good this season, especially at the moment. They're definitely picking up those points. But I think Villa will edge it. I think it's going to be quite a tough game. I think any game in the Premier League, you can never know how it's going to go. It's so unpredictable. But I think Villa will edge it. I think Villa definitely need to get that Champions League spot, stay in the top 4. So I think Villa will get the win in this one.
Okay, Sophie, thank you very much. Cam, anything to add with your thoughts as well as score prediction?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very close game. I can see this being two sides who, both on both ends of the table, both needing points themselves, and I think it's going to be a really good game. I think Villa are slightly going to edge it. I don't think it's going to be a pretty win. I think it'll be 1-0 Villa. I think they'll just about edge it, that home advantage kicking in. And I think, as we know, Leeds have been a very good side recently in these past few games. They're trying to fight relegation themselves. Of course, they're a newly promoted team, so they're going to want to stay in this league. And yeah, I think they'll put up a good fight for sure, but I think this is just a game where I can't see them really getting anything out of it. Of course, Villa have been amazing this season. They're trying to get into the top 4 themselves as well, and trying to get into that Champions League spot, which is why I think Villa are going to just win 1-0.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone back in Villa, and thank you very much. Next game then, Brentford versus Brighton. Sophie, I'll start with you this time. I think completely different picture for both. So Brentford under Keith Andrews going strong, whereas Brighton and Hurts are struggling at the moment. Probably trying to pull it together at the end of the season. So yeah, so how do you see this one going? Everything points towards a Brentford win because they're at home as well.
Yeah, this one's going to be quite tough, I think, because I think Brentford have actually been really good this season. They've actually really impressed me. I think they've done a lot better than what I expected. I think Brighton have struggled a bit. I think Brighton need to get something out of this game. I'm actually going to go for a 2-2. I think it's going to be quite an exciting game to watch, especially as a neutral. But yeah, I think Brentford probably will be expected to win this one, especially it being at home. But I do think Brighton need to find a way to get something out of this game. So I'll go for a draw.
Go for a draw. Okay, thank you very much. Cam, if I come back to you, what do you reckon about this game? Does it feel quite big for Hertz and Brighton? They can't afford, can they, surely, to lose another game?
Yeah, Brighton not on a great streak at the moment, and I think this is the game where they definitely need to be getting something. I think as Sophie said, I think it's going to be a draw. I don't think it'll be as high scoring. I'm going to go for a 1-1. I think it'll be that type of game where both sides aren't good enough to win it, albeit Brentford have been good this season, but I just think this game is that type of game where I think Brighton will get something out of it.
Thank you very much, Cam. You're also going for the same line. Thank you. Jack, if I come to you, what do you reckon? What are your thoughts and score prediction out of this one?
Yeah, it's similar to what the others have really said in terms of Brighton are going to are on a bad run, so the pressure is sort of mounting a little bit. They've got some good players. Be interesting if one or two of the injuries have come back. Brentford are having an amazing season. You can't, what Keith Andrews is doing there is unbelievable, and they've really got this team spirit, team ethic, fighting for one another, putting bodies on the line. And I saw that when they beat us at Villa Park 1-0. I think on paper this is saying a draw because Brighton will need something out of this. And so, yeah, I'd go similar to what the others have said, but I'll be like more the one each, what Cam said, really, rather than the 2-2. But you never know. It could be a goal fest.
Okay, thank you. Got some interesting thoughts in the comments below, in particular about this game, with Ryan saying 0-0, but Robbie thinking that Brentford are going to win 4-1. So, complete opposite. Yeah, 1-0 as well. Yeah, it's a real mix in the chat. Thank you very much. I have to see how that one goes. I don't think there'll be a mix of results on this one, but you never know. Chelsea versus Burnley at Stamford Bridge. Jack, can I start with you once again? So
Yeah.
Chelsea will know quick starting under Liam Rossini. He's made the instant impact. Burnley, disappointing result in the FA Cup. But before that, good win against Palace in the Premier League. Time's running out for Burnley. Do they have any chance in this game?
Chelsea are a bit like a Jekyll and Hyde. They can have 45 minutes outstanding and then just go missing in the second half, which they did against, I forgot who they drew to Leeds. It was Leeds, yeah. I'd expect Chelsea to win this because I think the Champions League spots are up for grabs, and Leroy Rossini will have them well drilled, I think, tomorrow. I'd like Burnley to get something out of the game, but I think Chelsea will have too much. 2-0, 2-1 to Chelsea.
Okay, thank you very much. The likelihood is they do. I think that's the general consensus. Cam, do you agree Chelsea have too much for Burnley? Give us your thoughts and score prediction.
Yeah, I think Chelsea can have too much for Burnley. I think that win against Palace was an amazing game, and they all deserved it. But then that Mansfield game in the FA Cup, that's kind of got onto me a little bit. I wanted to kind of back Burnley a little bit here, but then I saw that Mansfield game, I was like, okay, no, they're back to normal. Chelsea at home, I'm gonna go 2-0. Comfortable win for them.
Okay, thank you. Sophie, any chance of an upset? Scott Parker and Burnley, they need results.
I don't really see Burnley getting anything out of this game. I think it's probably going to be a professional win for Chelsea. I think Chelsea are definitely a team that are trying to improve every week. But I think, like we said, you can be great for one half and the other half they do sort of struggle. But I think this game, I'm going to go 2-0 as well. I think it should be a comfortable win for them. And I would be surprised if Chelsea drop points. But again, with Burnley, they've struggled and we know they're going to go down, but I think I'd be interested to see if Burnley put up a bit of a fight in this game or see how they get on, but I think Chelsea should get those 3 points in this game.
Okay, thank you very, very much. So if you're sticking with you then, West Ham and Bournemouth the next game. I mean, again, how do you see this one going? Both teams better form in 2026, both having kind of, an August to December to forget, but this year a lot stronger. And for West Ham, they're no Forest new manager, Tottenham new manager. They can't afford, to drop too many points. So do you think West Ham being at home, this is an opportunity?
Yeah, I think this game is probably going to be quite close as well. I think West Ham definitely need to find a way to stay up. I'm not sure if they will, but I think they need to get something out of this game. I mean, preferably they'd want to win. I think Bournemouth might win this one. I'm going to go 2-1 to Bournemouth, but it's so tough to predict because I think it could go either way, to be honest. And West Ham desperately need those points. That West Ham really need to win in this game, but I think it's going to be a really close game in my opinion.
Tough one to call, I do agree. I think it has goals written all over it, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
West Ham got better defensively since the Sassi's come in, but still not perfect. There's vulnerability there, and Bournemouth are all about goals, aren't they? Rather than shutting up shop or anything like that. Sophie, thank you. Cam, what are your thoughts ahead of this game? I mean, I can't believe we're going to say this, but as a Spurs fan, we are looking really, aren't we, at West Ham results, Leeds results at the moment, hopefully just for the short term. But do you think West Ham can keep up their good form? Could Bournemouth keep up their good form? Someone's got to give.
Yeah, I think if I have my Spurs at home, I want Bournemouth to win this game 100%. But yeah, I think both sides, I think this is going to be an instant game, as you said, Harry. I think this has goals written all over it. I think both sides aren't going to have quite enough to win it. I think with West Ham at home as well, they've kind of gotten some good results there recently as well, albeit, they've gotten some good results away and their form overall has been quite good. And I think Bournemouth, though, they're very good at scoring goals, but also conceding on the other end is kind of a weakness for them at the moment, which is why I think I'm going to go 2-2. I don't think either side will have enough to win it. I think both sides will get cancelled out and it'll be a draw.
Good go for a draw. Thank you very much. Can I get your thoughts and score predictions, Jag? Because it feels a fairly big one. Bournemouth are probably okay, but for West Ham, it feels significant.
I felt they've almost been there, just nearly got over the line. They're 2-0 up against Chelsea, lost it 3-2. They were 1 up against United, 94th, 5th minute, whatever it was, 1 each. So they've dropped 5 points there, effectively, and you just think if they could just get those over the line, then it would have been really interesting down the bottom of the table. I know it draws in, Forest and Spurs yourselves. But Bournemouth are they are a strong team. They're not easy to play against. They've obviously had a bit of a change over the season with players and some players leaving and with Semenyo, etc. in January as well. I think it'll be 2-2 or a late 3-2 winner for Bournemouth. But maybe the tables will turn for this time for West Ham and they'll win. So let's go 3-2 West Ham. They need a bit of luck.
Thank you very much. Yeah, they certainly do. We've got 2-1 West Ham here. Also 0-0. So there we go. I'd be surprised if it's 0-0. We just don't know. It could be tight, cagey. But I think Bournemouth will definitely be expansive and at least try to go for it. Next one's a big one then. It's an 8 p.m. Instead of having lunchtime, we've got a 5:30 and 8 p.m. on a Saturday. Man City and Newcastle. Cam, kick me off with this game then. I mean, it's interesting. I think this is interesting because City, of course, will look at the Arsenal result and go, look, boom, an opportunity to capitalise. They need to keep doing their job. For Newcastle, suffering with injuries, quick turnaround in games. But for them as well, and Eddie Howe, it feels like maybe them beating Tottenham, your club, was a turning point. How do you hear this game going?
Yeah, well, I think for Man City, if they can get all 3 points in this one, I think it could definitely pile the pressure on Arsenal, considering they play the day after as well in a big game. We'll get to that, of course. But yeah, I think this Newcastle and City have played each other quite a lot this season. They've got each other in the FA Cup, of course, as well. Feels like they played each other quite a lot. But when I looked at that Carabao Cup second leg, the semi-final, I think this one is going to be a much more close contested game. I don't think it's going to be easy for either side. Of course, Newcastle, they've turned it on ever since that win against us, of course. Got that result against Villa as well. I think there's going to be a bit of a closer one. I don't think they're going to get anything out of it, but I'm going to go 2-1 City. I think it'll be close, but I think City will get all 3 points.
Okay, thank you very much. If I come back to you, Jag, how do you see this game going?
Yeah.
And your score prediction as well?
I think over the last week, Newcastle have had 2 awesome results. They beat us 3-1 up in the Cup and they went to Europe. Obviously, it was a weaker team. They played in Qarabağ, but won 6-1. So I think City will have too much. I think they can smell it a little bit in terms of Arsenal having a wobble, dropping points, and Pep will have their tails up. So 3-1 City.
3-1 to Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. Okay, thank you very much. Sophie, what do you reckon about this one? Of course, matters so much to you as an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice for Man City to drop points, but I'm not really expecting them to. I think this game, I do think it will be a Man City win. It's interesting to obviously people's predictions like 3-1, 2-1. I'll probably go like 2-1 or 2-0 to Man City. I think Man City definitely have the quality over Newcastle, but I think Newcastle have definitely picked up more points recently, have done a bit better. So this game can be quite close considering their form has been better. So I think it will be like a lot closer, but I do think Man City have the quality and will probably just edge it. But I would love Newcastle to get something out of the game.
Yeah, okay. We'll have to see what they do or not, but definitely a big one. And I think Newcastle can mount a challenge to Man City, but enough to get a result, it will be difficult. Time will tell. It's all the big games we move into Sunday then, Forest and Liverpool. This is a big one, real big one. Victor Pereira's first Premier League game, and Forest started with a flyer. No real surprise, beating Fenerbahce 3-0. Victor Pereira throughout his career has started very quickly, unbeaten in the first 9 games at Wolves. Make no mistake about it, if he has the same impact at Forest, they're absolutely safe and by a comfortable margin. Sophie, starting with you on this one, how do you see this going? I think this could be quite tricky for Liverpool, potential banana skin.
Yeah, I think this one is going to be incredibly tough. I think, again, Forest need to get something out of this game. Forest need to get a draw. I mean, a win might be a big ask, but Liverpool this season hasn't been Liverpool from the last season or the season before. Liverpool have definitely struggled. Liverpool need to try and get near that top 4 spot. So I think it's going to be quite a close game, actually. I think Liverpool will edge it 2-1, but I do think Forest will put up a fight in this one. I think they need to if they do want to stay up. So I think it's going to be quite a close game.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Jag, are you looking forward to seeing Victor Pereira's Nottingham Forest in action?
He's obviously all the managers seem to be moving around at the moment, so there seems to be a lot of merry-go-round with the managers. I mean, this is what Forest's 3rd or 4th manager. I forget now. I've lost touch. I mean, they've had
sacked 3. Yeah, sacked 3, appointed 4.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. There you go. So it depends which Liverpool turns up, but if they are on it, I expect them to edge it. But it won't be straightforward. But also you could get the new manager bounce with Vitor, like you said, and Forest at home. They get the 12th man. There is quite a tough ground to go to. Maybe 2-1 Liverpool. Yeah.
Okay. 2-1 Liverpool. Yeah.
On the break, Ekitike's doing very well, and they've got a couple of players that can really change a game at a drop of a hat. So yeah, I think 2-1 Liverpool.
Okay, thank you. Cam, Liverpool in better form when they've got to, keep these results and arguably do even better, let's be honest with you, from now to the end of the year if they want Champions League football, which is achievable, but they've got to be on the ball. For Forest as well, no time to lose in front of their home fans. I think everything points towards, if I'm honest with you, Forest to put a really big performance. I think everything also points towards it being a really tight game. How do you view this one?
Yeah, I don't think this will be an easy game for our side. I think Liverpool definitely got that quality to break down Nottingham Forest for sure, but I think it's going to be a very difficult game for them because, of course, Forest's not a great away ground to go, so I think a lot of teams do struggle there at times. And, of course, with the new manager bounce as well, literally anything could happen in this game. And overall, I think Liverpool have enough quality to win it, but I don't think it'll be too easy of a game. I think Liverpool grab a goal and it'll be the only goal of the game. I'll go 1-0 Liverpool.
1-0 Liverpool. Thank you very much. Guys, get involved in the comments below. People that are listening live on YouTube, afterwards on YouTube, or even afterwards as well on audio platforms. Let us know your score predictions and thoughts for these games. Palace then and Wolves. Before we get into the game, Cam, I want to talk to you about Oliver Glasner. There's a possibility he's sacked before, or parted ways, as to say, even before this game comes underway. Palace disappointing result away in Europe during 1-1 in that qualifier. I mean, the fact they haven't had to go to the qualifiers would be frustrating for Palace. I think we can all agree here that Glasner's a good manager, but it feels definitely like, we know it's coming to an end in summer. It feels like it could come to an end before that. So what do you think? Do you guys will be in the dugout for this game, or do you think maybe he could be gone if Palace don't get a good result?
Well, I feel like this is a game where, up against a Wolves side who are bottom of the league, albeit, they got that result against Arsenal, they're still putting up a fight. They're not absolutely terrible at this moment in time, but it is kind of confirmed they are going to get relegated. But I think Palace are going to look at this and be like, okay, this is a home game where we 100% have to win, especially since they play Burnley and struggle to get anything from that game. And I think they're going to look at this and be like, okay, we have to get 3 points here. This is a must-win game because the games after this are not looking too pretty. And I think if Glasgow cannot get any type of good result here, I think that could definitely be him gone. And we all know he's gone at the end of the season. It could be even earlier than that. And yeah, it could well be the case. And I think this game will be, I feel like it'll be a very, very close game. And I feel like both sides won't have enough to win it. I'm going to go ball 0-0. I'm going 0-0. I don't think Palace will get any or get 3 points out of this. And I think Glasgow could be perhaps under pressure by the board.
I think perhaps you could be as well. Okay, thank you very much. Sophie, I come to you. Thoughts on this game? I mean, you typically go, okay, Palace now, players come back from injury, really strong kind of depth all of a sudden out of nowhere. But Wolves, I think we encouraged them that draw against you guys.
Yeah, I think Wolves have actually played okay this season in some games. I think it's difficult because you look at the table, you look at the points, it is pretty bad. But I think potentially we might have given them a bit of hope or belief. I think they probably know they're going down. I think they will, but I think this game's going to be quite tough because I think Crystal Palace have really struggled this season. I think they've obviously lost a few players, but they don't really seem themselves. So I'm going to go 1-1 as well. I think it's going to be quite an interesting game. I think Palace really need a win, to be honest with you. They need to go on a good run, but for Wolves, if they got a win, that would probably be great for them. So yeah, I think it's probably going to be a draw in this one.
Sophie, I think we all in agreement the Wolves probably go down. Is there any chance at all that they could, a miracle could happen? Let's say.
I don't think they'll stay up. I think the players will probably might know themselves that they're going down, but I think as well when they're playing, they've not really got anything to lose by putting up a fight or putting up a good performance. But yeah, I don't see them staying up, to be honest with you. And you'd have to win quite a lot of games, which I don't really see them doing. But I suppose anything can happen in football. But I think they're going down this season.
I think a lot of people agree with that. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, I think that's the expectation, let's just say. Jack, if I come to you, can I get your thoughts and score prediction? Can Wolves, build on that draw against Arsenal?
Well, if you look at the games that Rob Edwards, since he's taken over, I think they've only lost one game in 9 or something. I'm not quite sure again on the facts there, but it's been a decent run where they've drawn a lot of games and won the odd one against West Ham and then obviously Grimsby in the Cup. I think Larson will be up for it for Palace, so obviously being an ex-Wolves player. But Wolves away from home are, they're not just rolling over now. They've been away to a few games and drawn. So I think it'd be like Sophie said, it'd be 1 each. I think it might be a 1 each draw.
1-1 draw as well. Thank you very, very much. There we go. If we move on then to the next game, we move on from Palace and Wolves to Sunderland and Fulham, another 2 p.m. kickoff along with Palace and Wolves and also Forest and Liverpool. Sophie, if I start with you, how do you view this one? Of course, both teams will be okay, you would have thought. Again, unless something substantial happens in terms of going down. But still, results are important for confidence and, places, bring you more money, etc. Who do you view winning this game? Both teams, I think had good seasons. Fulham probably in a better form.
Yeah, this one's going to be quite tough, I think. I think this one will probably be quite close, actually. I mean, Sunderland have done really good this season. I think they've done a lot better than what what I've expected and what others have expected. I think if I was Fulham, I think you kind of need to get a win and build a bit of momentum. For Sunderland, they've definitely got points from the bigger side this season, which have been great. But I think it could be another draw again. I'm thinking 1-1 as well. I think it's going to be quite a close game, and I think both teams really will need a win for their confidence. So I think it's probably going to be quite a competitive game. So I'm going to go for draw.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for kicking us off. Cam, I'll come to you. Do you agree it has a draw written all over it?
Yeah, I think this game definitely has a draw and all of it. I don't think it'll be perhaps a boring game. I think both sides will definitely put up a fight, and I think both sides will definitely go into this trying to win the game, but I don't think either of the sides will. I think, albeit Sunderland have been great at home this season, they've only lost one game at home to Liverpool, which was last league game. Apart from that, they're unbeaten at home, but I don't feel like it'll kick in this time. I don't think they'll be able to quite get the win. I think Fulham are definitely a great side, and they've got enough quality about them to definitely get something out of this game as well. And yeah, I agree with Sophie, and I agree with Barney as well in the chat. I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1. Thank you. Jag, anything to add on your score prediction as well, please?
Yeah, like you said, really, Sunderland have had a good season. They're very strong at home. Just one defeat, that's saying something. I find they might just edge it, because when they do have the tails up, they can have some momentum there as well from the crowd. So I'd go 1-0 Sunderland.
1-0 Sunderland, okay, yeah. And do you know what the important thing is here? Sunderland last time out, they lose to Liverpool. So, they won't want to have 2 defeats at home after, being unbeaten the whole time. They want to respond to that. Or will that ruin their home form? It does, doesn't it? Sometimes you look at Palace, unbeaten for so long, and for various different reasons off the pitch, a defeat, and then all of a sudden, they've never really got back to that kind of run. So it can happen, let's just say. But 2 more games to go, and it's a big one next, 4:30 p.m. Sunday. It's Tottenham and Arsenal. Cam, I'll start with you. You've got Spurs, of course, and Arsenal fan on the panel, deliberately done, of course, for this big game. I'll come to you first because Spurs are the hosts. I'm going to ask you a million things, but we start with, Igor Tudor is his first game. Does that, for you, add an element of excitement? I mean, North London derby is exciting and nervous anyway, but do you think that also means that it's more exciting, but the form goes even further out the window? North London derby, I always think it does, but almost like we're playing a completely different way, different system. So, yeah, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I literally think anything could happen in this game. Of course, we've got a new manager that a lot of the fans know nothing about. But I think the fact that, we've got that new manager bounce and it's his first game as well, I feel like that almost kind of gives the fans like some energy into this derby. I mean, of course, fans should definitely have, that desire and, that bit about them, that they're excited in this type of game. But I feel like with Thomas Frank sacked, of course, he was struggling at Tottenham quite a lot, 16th in the table. Of course, he was always going to get sacked, and we've gotten someone new in now who's going to bring in new ideas, hopefully bring a new style of football, some new things about him in this one. And yeah, I think it could definitely be an interesting one. I think it definitely will be. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game. I have literally no clue what's going to happen. I mean, it feels like almost, because I was speaking to an Arsenal fan a few weeks ago, and he was absolutely buzzing about this game, and now he thinks we're going to lose, or they're going to lose. Sorry. So yeah, it's a really big turnaround from things, and yeah, I think if you're speaking to Tottenham fans a few weeks ago, they'd be absolutely terrified by this game. But now I'm speaking to a lot of them, and some of them are actually fairly optimistic about this game. Of course, myself, I'm a bit cautious about this one because I know Arsenal are a great side, but I also know that they're winless in a couple games now and not had the best of performances, which could potentially kick in this type of game. But of course, a derby, anything could happen, and form goes out the window, as you said, Harry. Yeah, this one, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a draw. I think someone's going to have to win it. Yeah, my Spurs hat is not staying off, and I'm going 2-1 Tottenham.
Love it. I was going to go through it was going to come off. No, it's not coming off. Okay. Thank you very much. Going to 2-1 to Tottenham. Thank you. Sophie, as the Arsenal fan, give us your thoughts. I mean, it wouldn't be catastrophic, for Arsenal to make it 3 games without a win. I think would be awful, and it could be 3 draws, or it could be, of course, even worse than that if you lose this game. So give us your thoughts, and also on the fact that Wolves result, do you think that fire in the belly for the Arsenal players, or is it just not their confidence? Which way is it going to go?
It is tough because I honestly don't know how it's going to go. I think this game has probably come at the worst time for us because I feel like obviously the Wolves game was pretty bad for us. To draw that feels like a loss. So I think as fans, I think we feel quite deflated. But I think with the players, you really have to pick yourselves up, be ready for this. It's a big game. Like, I do think form goes out the window. I think it doesn't matter really who's doing better in the league. I think I think it's going to be quite a tough game actually, because I think both teams have got something to fight for. You know, you'll want to try and stay up and get up that table, and like Harry says, we can't really afford to drop any more points. So, yeah, predictions, it's tough. There's sort of two, I think. I think it could either be a 2-2 draw, or I do think maybe one of the teams could edge it 2-1. But yeah, I think it's going to be quite a tight game. I think it depends on how Arsenal start. I think if we can start really good, I think we'll be okay. But you don't know what to expect for this. It's going to be it's going to be a real tough game for both teams, really. And yeah, I'd be interested to see how Tottenham approach this game with a new manager as well. They might be up for this game, so I think it's going to be quite tough.
Are you also, Sophie, more nervous the fact that Spurs have got a new manager? Because don't get it wrong, form so often goes out the window, like I said there. But at least with Frank, you know what to expect from Tottenham, etc. Whereas a bit of unknown, isn't there, about Igor Tudor? He's just saying different things. You just don't know what to expect. I feel like it's rallied the crowd. Like we're now doing a TIFO, for example. I don't think that could be wrong. Don't think it would have happened if we hadn't changed manager. Things like that. I just feel like it could be another banana skin for Arsenal.
Yeah, I'd feel better if you had Thomas Frank, to be honest, because I don't think it was going the right way. So I think you could have that new manager bounce, but I think if Arsenal do want to win a league, we really have to show it in this game, because I think we can't really afford to drop any points now. We have to keep winning. So yeah, I'd be interested to see how Arsenal approach it. I think if you're a player, as an Arsenal player, you probably should expect that Tottenham are going to play a lot better, and probably will have that manager bounce, and they'll have something to fight for. So yeah, it's going to be a tough game for both teams, I think.
A tasty one for sure. But I mean, it always is the North London derby, but there's a lot riding on this game. Jag, very keen to get your thoughts as an outsider, because I'm a Spurs fan hosting it. We've got a Spurs and Arsenal fan on. You're the one with a non-biased view, let's just say, for sure. So give us your thoughts on this one.
I think if Arsenal had won that game at Molineux, then this one probably was going to, sort of gear more towards a draw. But because they've drawn that one, I knew at the end there was, they lost the plot a little bit, and there's a lot of furious and angry, fans, rightly so, but also players. You could just see, some of their faces, like Declan Rice was furious, and thunder was probably the best word to describe. So I think they'll be hurting. They'll be galvanized. They'll want to put things right, and they know that their title race, challenge is right in the tipping edge now. And if City win, which I expect them to on Saturday night, I then think that Arsenal will come out of the traps quick. Afraid to say, I know it's a local derby, and there'll be a lot of effort from Spurs. There'll be a lot of noise, and it'll be, electric as usual. But I think Arsenal, because of what's been happening recently, they'll come out and go for it. And I see them winning 3-1. I'm afraid, because they'll pick off holes, and they've got the players, and then they've got the depth, where I think obviously Spurs have got a lot of injuries. So if you do have a challenge in the first 11, there's not much a manager can do. Obviously got some players on the bench, but not the experience on the ones you want. So I think because of your injuries as well, if you look at Arsenal, they've got 2 11s effectively they could field. So I think they will go for this one.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, do appreciate it. Let's get the chat's thoughts on this one. People keen to have their say, as you can imagine. Ryan says, as a Newcastle fan, thanks Spurs get a boost, 1-1 draw. Fair enough. Barney thinks also saying the same, because he says new manager bounce. The form goes out the window, so expect a different Spurs. Can go either way. Bold prediction is going 1-1. Yeah, that is too bold. I think that's fair enough. Of course, probably Arsenal will be expected to win, but 1-1. I mean, I've heard bolder scores, let's just say, this weekend. This is one of them. No, funny enough, I didn't even look at it. That's perfect. This is bolder. Robbie's going 3-1 Spurs. Solanke, Xavi, and Van der Ven, and Saka plus 2 sent off at least. Well, it's hard.
That'd be stressful to watch.
That'd be stressful. And Ryan chipping in saying, wow, 2 sent off. Is Gabriel going to lose his head again? Well, I'll have to see. Is it 2 for the same team, or is it 1 for each? That's the big thing. Robbie says Saka's now earning enough to take Arsenal out from post-match drink to drown their sorrows. Yeah, new contract for Bukayo Saka. Ryan says, I think Arsenal come out hot. I think Spurs can weather it and get a draw. Robbie send about Declan Rice. And Ryan says the derby Spurs will come out motivated. Before we move on, Sophie, rightly mentioned in the chat, Bukayo Saka signed a new deal. What are your thoughts on this? I saw a lot of Arsenal fans having a go at the timing of the announcement soon after that Wolves draw, but I'm sure it would have been like in terms of like social media pre-scheduled, would have been pre-agreed before the game, wouldn't hype for a North London derby. So your thoughts on that, and also the reaction of the Arsenal fans?
I think there's probably been a big reaction because we knew the news before the Wolves game that Saka was going to extend. I think it's because Saka has had quite a poor season that I think the reaction has been quite mixed. I think a lot of people are probably happy with it. Like, I'm happy he's staying. I do think he has to finish the season off much better, though. I think it's difficult because I think he should earn a contract. To be honest with you, people might see it as he's just got a contract and he's being poor, but Saka has carried us these last few years, so I do think it's deserved. But like we said, we've got big games coming up. This game coming up at the weekend, we've got a cup final coming up, so I do want Saka to maybe do a bit better than what he has been doing. I think with Saka, he has been run down, he's burnt out of these playing so much, he's had injuries, so I do get a little bit of the reaction. It hasn't been easy because he's not had the best season, but I do think it's deserved. But it's difficult, isn't it? Because you wake up the next day after the Wolves game and he signed a new deal. The timing probably isn't the best. I might have waited till the end of the season, maybe. I don't know, but I am happy he's extended because I do think it's nice that he wants to be a big part of our future, and we have extended quite a few of the other players' deals as well. So I'm happy with it, but yeah, I don't think the timing has been great considering that we did draw to Wolves.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes it just goes like that, doesn't it? Sometimes it's called PR, big part of it
Yeah.
nowadays, if we're being honest about it. Last game then, Everton and Man United. Cam, I come to you. I'd go as far as saying that Everton's home form's been atrocious. And do you know what? Tottenham don't deserve a lot of credit in my club for this year, but credit where's credit's due. Tottenham beating Everton at Hill Dickinson Stadium ended there at the time. Perfect start at home, and it's been atrocious. It's been gone massively downhill. So will that give Man United confidence on, under Michael Carrick? They can have another game unbeaten and potentially a win as well?
Yeah, I think Michael Carrick and Man United kind of got to put that West Ham game behind them because they're still unbeaten under Michael Carrick. They're still doing quite well. Their form's been quite good as well. They're going up against a very inconsistent side, not been great this season in the Premier League, and Man United can definitely go into this game thinking they can get all 3 points for sure. And I think albeit Everton got that result against Fulham as well, I've said they're quite inconsistent with their games and with their performances. I don't think they're going to get anything out of this. As you said, Harry, their home record has just not been great at the moment. We obviously ended that home record earlier on in the season, but I think since then they've just not been good enough in many of these games at home and away for that matter. And I think Man United will have that energy kind of boosted by Michael Carrick coming in, and I think they'll win this game 2-0. I think Everton are going to struggle again in this type of game, and I think Man United right now, they've just got a bit too much about them, and I think Everton will struggle.
Okay, Cam, thank you very much. If I come to you, Jack, what are your thoughts and also your score prediction?
Yeah, I think Everton are struggling at home. You've seen some kamikaze sort of games that have gone on and players being sent off left, right and centre. So I do fancy United to win this. Prefer not to for Villa's Champions League chase, but I think United will edge this 2-0 as well.
Okay, thank you. I think everything again points towards that. But so often football, comes up with the surprises. Sophie, what do you reckon for this game? Your score prediction?
Yeah, I think it could be a close one. I think United will win this one. I think United have definitely done a lot better in these last couple of games. They do seem in a much better place now. So I'm gonna go with 1-0 to United. I don't really see Everton winning this, to be honest, but I think it's probably going to be a closer game to what maybe people think. But I think United will edge it because I think of their players, the quality they have. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go for United win for this one.
Okay, lovely. Thank you, Sophie, and thank you, panel. Barney says, for this game, I'm going 2-1 to Manchester United, the away side. He's been impressed with them, saying that their form has been steady. There we go. And Robbie has said 4-1 to Manchester United. So 2-1 United, 4-1 United. Barney saying they have too much. He agrees with Cam that they've been poor at home. And Robbie says that Carrick's United are entertaining now. There we go. Interesting stuff. Some different predictions in there, but everyone back in Man United for that final game. That wraps us up then. That's every game preview of Game Week 27. Thank you to everyone that's listened in terms of, and also got involved as well, given their score prediction throughout. A lot of people listen after as well. A reminder, you still can get involved. If you listen after on YouTube, comment on YouTube. If you listen after on audio platforms, drop us a comment as well. Let us know where you're listening, what team you support, how you feel right now about your club. Are you angry? Are you disappointed? Are you joyous? Let us know. There's a range of emotions right now, I'm sure, amongst different Premier League fans. Good examples on the panel. Sophie might not be happy at the moment after the Wolves result, but she's certainly happy after this season. Whereas, Cam, I'm sure, want to forget about this season and move on, get it out the way. But thank you to everyone. Also, drop me an email, scarfharry323@gmail.com, if you want to come on. Also, another way of giving your thoughts. Massive thanks to my panel. Let's go through one by one and see where you can find them and support them as well on social media. Cam, firstly, thank you very much. Good to have you on, a regular of the podcast, and also the Spurs podcast as well, by the way. So double duo. So thank you so much for your commitment. It means a lot. Where can people follow you on socials?
Yeah, you can follow me on my Twitter there, THFC_Cam. I tweet about football. I tweet about all things Tottenham. Obviously not been amazing this season, so not been able to tweet about too much positivity. But thank you for having me on, Harry. And you can follow me there.
No worries. Thank you very much. Sophie, thank you so much as well. Always good to have you on. Of course, you collaborated on your channel and my channel, ahead of the Arsenal Spurs game. So thank you very much for coming on my channel, and thank you for having me as well. Where do people follow you? And subscribe to your channel as well on the socials.
Yeah, thank you for having me on again today, and obviously thank you for coming on my channel to do the preview as well. And it's always great being on here, so thank you to you guys for having me as well. And obviously, if you do want to find me on YouTube, I chat about Arsenal, I do content on the women's team, the men's team. My channel is Schooner Gossip TV if anyone's interested. But again, thank you for having me on. I've had a great time.
No worries. Thank you very, very much. And Jack, thank you as well. First appearance, solid debut as expected. Thank you on the Premier League podcast. It'd be great to have you back. Where can people follow you on social media? And talk to people as well about Punjabi Villas, because that's something really, I think needs shouting about. Do some great stuff.
Absolutely. No, thank you very much, Harry, for giving me this opportunity. I know we've only known each other a few months, well, a month or so really, since the famous Spurs Villa Cup tie at the Tottenham ground. But I'm part of the Punjabi Villains. As a fans group that's now been recognised by the club as a official Lions group, and we effectively are a group of South Asian fellows that love the football, love our game, love our club, and just trying to bring a bit of happiness, a bit of positivity, a bit of the Asian sort of singing, dancing element to the football, really. And absolutely, we're all better together, as I say, when you get diverse fans coming forward and being able to enjoy the wonderful game that it is. So that's where the group's been formed. It was sort of originated around 2012, 2013, way before I officially came on board. I've been with the sort of group about 5 years, and now we really are venturing out into various things. You probably see us in various platforms. We have our own fans group, we have our own websites, we have our own merchandise, etc. as well. So if you want to follow us, it's at Punjabi Villains. We're on Twitter or X, on Instagram, on TikTok. My sort of personal feed is at JK, and there's a long number behind it. But if you go onto the Punjabi Villain side, you'll see most of us and myself when we post pre-match plans for the game, flag meeting opportunities, and what the plans are for the day, and then we do sort of a post-match photo updates as well. So now we're all having a good time under Unai, and really fortunate. I think sometimes fans can be fickle, and when they have a couple of bad results, they tend to sort of forget where we are and how far we've come. But no, thank you very much for having me. All I was going to say is, I don't know if you've already had this as a podcast subject, but I think you should have one as, who should be the next Tottenham Hotspur's manager.
Definitely.
Let's see, and put that as a topic, and then invite 3 or 4 different individuals, maybe not all from Tottenham, and get the insights of what that looks like, because I think that will be a fairly hot topic.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. And do you know what? I think that's a great idea. I'm currently actually today been planning thoughts of the summer because I think it's going to be a topic for conversation. Jag, you're absolutely right. Thank you for raising that, and keep up the good work yourself and to Cam and Sophie as well. Thank you very much. Comment here, Harry, when you're back from New York. I'm not away in New York. I'm in this country. I'm stuck with this weather. That's what we're boning about the weather. I'm not in New York, I promise. I don't know where you got that from, but sounds nice. I approve. If you're offering me a ticket
Harry,
there, no problem.
Sorry for interrupting. What do you think the score's going to be on Sunday? Because you haven't given your thoughts.
Oh, I haven't, no. North London derby.
Yeah.
Oh, 1-1. I'll go 1-1. I'm going to sit on the fence with this one. I think, listen, the Arsenal are top side and I think they come out strong. They know that they have to. But I also think the Tottenham come out, really aggressive more than anything. They'll be defensive, but aggressive and really quick and bold. So I think the fans will be really behind. I think Tottenham score first, but I think Arsenal stay in the game. Arsenal got a stronger bench, I think, as well. And I just think as the game goes on, I think Arsenal, unfortunately for Spurs anyway, will get that equaliser. So yeah, thank you for asking. I reckon 1-1. So we'll have to see. Yeah, I think for Arsenal, it's got to be a win, isn't it? And for Tottenham as well, being at home, and it just feels right to want to win the game. I think a draw suits Spurs, though, a tiny bit more. But thank you to everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you very much. Until next time.
Take care. Bye-bye.